right, Bruzernation, we are back for some more G1 Climax 30 coverage. Welcome back to the Bruze Cruze Podcast, the only podcast that brings you pro wrestling for your ears. Today, we are going to have ourselves a tour of the islands with Jeff Cobb versus Shingo Takagi in what will no doubtedly be quite the slobber knocker, as good old JR may say. Shingo Takagi is on his way to the ring in his legit as hell ring gear, that sleeveless hooded robe with the dragon mask over his face, ready to take it to Jeff Cobb, the master of the tour of the islands. If you can't tell, I'm a huge fan of Jeff Cobb. Not that I don't like Shingo Takagi as well, but we are going to see some epic battles here throughout the remainder of the G1 Climax tournament. If you guys listen to the Bruze Cruze Podcast, the only podcast to bring you pro wrestling for your ears, last week we did a tribute show, an extended tribute show for the late, great John Huber. I hope you all listened and enjoyed my commentary on those matches. But now we're back to Japan as Jeff Cobb makes his way into the arena to march to the ring and continue his rise in New Japan by trying to win the 30th edition of the G1 Climax tournament. And be sure to check out Bruzernation Productions on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. We put a lot of stuff on YouTube, or at least try to from time to time. You know, we're still doing everything with a laptop, so it takes a lot of time to edit and export all of these videos here. So the Bruze Cruze Podcast always comes first, but here in the next week, we plan to have pizza time with Bruisers too. Yes, Bruisers, because I like to put my son in just about everything that he'll enjoy. He's not really a pro wrestling fan yet. There's still time. But as of right now, he's not going to call matches with me. Hopefully someday. But we'll see how that goes. If not, I guess I'll just keep going it alone. Jeff Cobb has made it into the ring face to face with Shingo Takagi, rocking that singlet of black and gold like he likes to. Both men being checked by old red shoes, backing to their respective corners. Jeff Cobb in the red corner, Takagi in the right, and a quick bow and elbow tie up right in the center of the ring with a test of strength. Jeff Cobb forcing Takagi back into his own corner. Takagi twists it around and pushed Jeff Cobb into the blue corner. Not quite the clean break. A nice chop by Takagi to Jeff Cobb. Irish whip attempt from corner to corner. Jeff Cobb is able to counter, forcing Takagi into the red corner, booting Jeff Cobb in the face for his trouble. Bounces off the ropes. Shoulder block attempt by Takagi, doing absolutely nothing to the powerhouse Jeff Cobb. Elbows, rights, elbows, back and forth. Chops, trading chops now. Overhand chop by Jeff Cobb. Knife edge chops, 2 in a row by Jeff Cobb. Takagi's telling him to keep on coming. Gave him 3. A double-handed chop by Takagi. Bounces off the ropes. Dropped down by Jeff Cobb, who gets hit with a shoulder block, being taken down after being fooled by Takagi. Big time drop kick by Jeff Cobb on a running Takagi here. This is really picking up a lot faster than I expected it to. Vertical suplex attempt by Jeff Cobb. Takagi drops his weight to try to keep Cobb from lifting him off of his feet. Just barely lifts him off his feet. Takagi drops back down. 2 right hands to the gut. Big elbow to the face of Jeff Cobb. Tries to Irish whip him into the neutral corner, but to no avail. Jeff Cobb whips him into the other corner. Delayed overhead belly-to-belly suplex by Jeff Cobb, tossing Takagi across the ring. The smirk on the face of Jeff Cobb, shaking his head, feeling like he is in complete control of this matchup. Right hand jab by Jeff Cobb. Headbutt to Takagi in the corner. Grasping the head of Takagi. Elbow to the back of the head of Takagi by Cobb. Cover 1, and only a 1 count for Jeff Cobb. Hoist Takagi into a bear hug, really wrenching it into the small of the back. Double hand chop slap to the head 3 times for Takagi to force his way out of that. Forced into the corner by a ruthless Jeff Cobb. Shoulder breaker into the gut buster, if you will. 2 of them for good measure. Irish whip. Takagi tries to counter. Jeff Cobb counters that to the other corner. Running, jumping forearm to the chest of Takagi by Jeff Cobb. Using his strength once again. Backdrop by Jeff Cobb. Not back suplex, sorry. By Jeff Cobb. Cover 1, 2. Takagi kicks out at 2. What is Takagi going to have to do here to hold off the powerhouse offense of Jeff Cobb? Now, Takagi is in no way, shape, or form a slouch when it comes to powerhouse maneuvers, but Jeff Cobb is an absolute monster in there. Picks Takagi up on his shoulder. Takagi rolls off the back, shoves Cobb into the corner, kicks him in the gut. Now he's going for a vertical suplex, with Jeff Cobb dropping his weight, not allowing it to happen, uses his strength. Counter by Takagi over the back to reverse the vertical suplex. Jeff Cobb bounces off the ropes, eats a elbow, right hand jab, and a clothesline, and Jeff Cobb is down on the mat. Shingo Takagi really needs this time here to recover from the onslaught of Jeff Cobb. Once again going for a vertical suplex. This time he's able to lift Jeff Cobb up and over and delivers a vertical suplex to Jeff Cobb, but causing more damage to the small of the back to Takagi. Jeff Cobb is a heavy man. Cover 1, 2. Jeff Cobb powers out at 2, launching Shingo Takagi off of him. Bounces off the ropes, tries to hit a sliding clothesline on Jeff Cobb, but he is caught in a vice grip by Jeff Cobb. Looks like he was going to go for the Tazplex there. Takagi's able to counter. More counters. Front face lock. Now a side headlock. And Takagi's got Jeff Cobb by the waist. 3 elbows to the back of the head. Clothesline to the back of Jeff Cobb. Back and forth we go here. Looks like he's going for a side suplex, but Jeff Cobb keeps fighting off of it. And he's able to bounce Jeff Cobb off the ropes and deliver a side suplex. This is definitely the moment that Shingo Takagi needs to recover completely and try to take control of this matchup. Both men took a loss in the very first round of this tournament. Going into the second round, second night, neither one wants to lose. That's why the pace has been picked up here. Running clothesline to Jeff Cobb by Shingo Takagi in the corner. Now both clothesline each other as Takagi runs off of him. Grabbed when he tries to hit him. Another one and hits him with the T-bone suplex. Jeff Cobb once again counters, regains control, but Takagi gives him a taste of his own medicine and hits a T-bone suplex of his own. Both men are struggling to get up. Now headbutts on all fours in the middle of the ring. Forearms, elbow smashes, lefts, rights, both hands going all out on the face of Jeff Cobb. Tell him to come on in. Jeff Cobb hits him with a jab and an headbutt by Takagi. Super kick by Jeff Cobb. Clothesline by Takagi. All in the center of the ring. It tries to charge at Jeff Cobb and eats a clothesline for his trouble. Both men struggling to get up to their feet. Jeff Cobb is over by the ropes. Back up to his feet first, trying to continue the onslaught on Shingo Takagi. Going for Tour of the Islands. Takagi is able to counter. Attempts a backslide on Jeff Cobb. Lifts him up and face plants him from the backslide position. Now Takagi has taken complete control of this matchup. Bounces off the ropes, ducks a clothesline attempt by Jeff Cobb and hits Jeff Cobb with a clothesline of his own, turning the big man upside down and inside out. Cover 1, 2. Jeff Cobb kicks out at 2. Grasping the head of Jeff Cobb, pulling him back to his feet. Looks like he's gonna go for Last of the Dragon. He's got Jeff Cobb in the air, but Jeff Cobb uses his weight to his advantage. Looks like he's attempting a power bomb, not able to get it. Hits a gut wrench suplex instead. Maintains waist control, rolls into a second one, maintaining it again. And he's gonna go for a third gut wrench suplex into a power bomb. Cover 1, 2. Takagi kicks out at 2. Standing moonsault, Jeff Cobb. Another quick cover, 1, 2. Takagi barely kicks out at 2 3/4. Jeff Cobb has routinely gone back to the powerhouse maneuvers that brought him to the dance. Taking complete control of Shingo Takagi, throws him off the ropes, trying to set up Tour of the Islands. Takagi grabs the ropes to halt the momentum, boots Jeff Cobb in the face, charges at Jeff Cobb. Now he's on the shoulders of Jeff Cobb. Oh, looks like he went for a modified F5, but Takagi is able to counter it into a DDT. Stiff elbows to the collarbone, forearm smashes to the face more and more. He's probably given him about 12 shots in that 10-second time span. Sliding running clothesline from Takagi to Jeff Cobb. Trying to once again lift Cobb off his feet. Made in Japan by Takagi. Cover 1, 2. And now that made kick out by Jeff Cobb. And that made in Japan is almost like an inverted pump handle suplex or pump handle slam, not suplex. Both men are absolutely spent after giving it all from start to now in this matchup, but Takagi is in control of the monstrous Jeff Cobb. Can he hit the last dragon? On his shoulders is Jeff Cobb, but rolls off the back to avoid the last of the dragon. Waist lock by Jeff Cobb, eats 3 elbows and a 4th one because he just wouldn't let go. Another clothesline by Takagi to Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb is still on his feet. He eats another one, drops to 1 knee. immediately gets up, goes for a headbutt, eats a jab, but is able to recover just enough to hit Takagi with one. Takagi follows him as he runs to the ropes, hits him with a clothesline against the ropes. Jeff Cobb bounces him off after dodging the charge and hits him with a German suplex. Irish whip by Jeff Cobb. Tour of the Islands. 1, 2, 3, and that is it. Jeff Cobb claims his first victory of the G1 Climax tournament by not only overpowering Takagi, but out-countering Takagi as well. What a matchup that was. Bruzernation, so much force used with all those maneuvers. The corner man has already brought an ice pack out to Shingo Takagi as Jeff Cobb gets his hands raised in victory, gaining 2 points to maintain position and continuing on his journey in the G1 Climax tournament. Tune in next week, Bruzernation, when we will cover Okada versus Takahashi right here on the Bruze Cruze Podcast, the only podcast that brings you pro wrestling for your ears. And remember, Bruzernation, stay good, because I'm always good.